Excuse me while I whip this out.
Flick too hard, damn it!
God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this?
That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend.
Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee.
Or if you're looking for something darker, try the dark roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic. Huzzah!
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Nerdrotic.com.
I was looking up.
I'm like, there's usually a clap.
I was trying to look up this thing, and it got stuck.
It
got freaking stuck. That's what she said.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner, ladies and gentlemen. Damn it. Why did it go there? I'm gonna have to figure it out. All right. Chris sent me something. And I was gonna look it up, but I can't. So we will do it later. Welcome, everyone. Almost on time. 10 minutes. Not bad.
Not bad, really.
Yeah. We are here for it's hump day. So it's good to have a nooner on a hump day. It's all very appropriate. And we have a lot to talk about. I'm looking forward to talking to Chris Gore about all the stuff, including the utter silence we've heard after Victoria Alonso left Marvel. And then nothing. The articles disappeared. Everything's gone. It's so weird. It's almost like they're all in league with each other. And Disney told them to put a clamp on that.
Shit up.
Yep. Hi, Chris. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Gary? You're sounding a little under the weather, but
A little bit.
yeah, but
I'm on the mend.
Real BBC was epic yesterday. I mean, epic. It was so good.
Yes, it was.
Great conversation about the industry with two comic book legends. It was just it was a great conversation, and really just getting that insight of how the sausage is made, so to speak, but in a good way. And it's just hard work. Really just shows you. So great show.
Thank you. Chuck Dixon and Graham have been around a long time, and they know how this works. And the comic industry is an entertainment industry. So it is a microcosm of the greater entertainment industry, and usually a proving ground. And those guys have been through so many peaks and valleys. They know when the valleys are coming, and they know when things are going to crash and burn forever. And Chuck Dixon said a couple of weeks ago, he said, when the door closes on this stuff, it will close fast. It will, because we've seen it, just in a very, in a much smaller degree in the comic industry, but we're seeing it with Hollywood now because they're going through the same problems, the very same problems. It's not going to be any different for this industry. That's why You know, he the way Chuck described what happened to the comic industry, it wasn't murdered. It didn't die of natural causes. It committed suicide. And that's basically what
That's
Hollywood
very
is.
accurate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking. I've seen Mandalorian. Have you seen the Mandalorian? Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Okay, we can discuss that.
I've seen it.
POS. Oh, they put a big old. I don't have my keys. I was gonna
Not watching it garbage.
They put a big old member berry feel good thing surrounded by just this nonsensical dumb plot. For one, why are those Mandalorians still hanging out at that beach where the big alligator comes? Then a big pterodactyl comes and takes another child.
Wow. They're
Another
like, look, this is a nice place. I like the beach.
It's so dumb.
I haven't learned.
It is so effing dumb, but everybody's going to talk about Ahmed Best.
It's like Land of the Lost. It reminded me of just like a dumb children's Saturday morning live action adventure show is what it is. It was such a dumb episode. I don't get it.
No,
one of them should be hired. They should hire someone to go after some of these creatures. You know,
like a Mandalorian,
like a
bounty hunter.
Yeah, like a bounty hunter. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Wouldn't they have a hunter that would keep the tribe safe from the pterodactyls and the giant alligators that feed on their young regularly, where they train on that? Maybe find a different beach to fucking train on. I don't know. It's so dumb, but everybody's gonna go Ahmed Best. And listen, it's a nice story. Ahmed Best, Jar Jar Binks, plays a Jedi in a Order 66 flashback, but it's just
another Jedi.
Here's like
Order 66.
You've seen Picard too, Chris, so we can talk about the contrasts of this and how one is done right and one is like Mandalorian is everything outside of the identity politics, is everything wrong creatively with Disney. I messaged you when you were on Midnight's Edge because I was listening and I'm like, dude, this is simple. Jon Favreau does not know how to write television, period.
100%.
Yeah, he just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's a good screenwriter for 2-hour movies, but you're seeing in the streaming service era that they're bringing in all these film people. They don't know what the hell they're doing. But when Picard, when the idiots F off and they bring in a TV writer who used to write on Star Trek, you see a noticeable difference. And keep in mind, Doctor Who was canceled until RTD came back. It was done. It was over. And the only thing they can do is bring him back. And I don't know, based on what we saw yesterday, I'm not feeling too good about it. But
what was that weird video that they posted on YouTube that seemed like some kid show? What the hell is that? It's
supposed to be it's like the Time Lord Victorious was just garbage. And this, like 5 years ago, would have been something I would have bought every single thing of. So it's a cross platform event where there's novels, there's comic books, there's audio adventures, but this one's written, I think, exclusively or by some transmissions. And I don't know if they're manual or automatic, but it's written almost exclusively by transmissions. And it's a giant virtue signal. And leading up to your 60th anniversary, I was just reminded of that teaser trailer, the 50th teaser trailer, which is so good. I watched it the other day. It's still good. It's so damn good. And like how far we've fallen, how long ago that was. It feels like 10 years because it was 10 years, by the way. So
damn,
we'll
10
get
years already.
It's been 10 years. So we're well into woke Hollywood, and it's done. It's done, folks. It's done. So you're gonna see things rising up out of the ashes, like a John Wick 4 is going to come out. I'm actually looking forward to seeing it, Chris, based on your review. Don't steer me wrong.
I hope you have tickets, and I hope you guys talk about it on FNT. At least there's a bright spot.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell them they have homework. Everybody has to watch John Wick 4.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Everybody has to watch John Wick 4.
I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
I've heard from everybody that has seen it, and all the reviews so far have been positive. Like a return to form. Like the last one was good because it's John Wick, but it's not the best one. Halle Berry and her dogs were not great. but this one seems to be an improvement.
Yeah.
So I'm down, dude.
How you doing, Quarterback Garrett?
Doing good. It's my boy's first birthday today.
Oh, what are you working
So
for?
he's made it because I love you guys.
Oh, thanks.
He's made it to a year. Chilling. He's pretty good. He started walking. Oh, man.
You got to be like a Hispanic family. Invite the entire neighborhood, get a bouncy cancel, and a band to play
Make
for
some
your
fajitas.
for your birthday, and a taco truck. Dude, they do it right. Okay.
Yeah, they know how to do it.
Yeah. So you need to
I'm having a good time. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Happy birthday, little baby. God, it's been a year.
Yeah.
Yikes. Hello, X-ray. Good.
Sorry, the dog is barking right now, so I don't want to be too long. But you guys have inspired me to buy tickets to see April 20th, 420. Return of the King.
Let's go.
I just have to figure out which theater. I'm trying to find the biggest screen. Bigger the better.
That's what I did too.
Wait, are you talking about the Big Lebowski? That's on 420. Return of the King is
it's
on 420 for me.
It's
I don't know why.
420 for you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's two different.
Oh, it is.
So yeah, the news has been around for a while, but it made big news yesterday for some reason.
Man, somebody on Twitter was saying that it wasn't just the last one; it was all three, and I was like, "Oh, man, so excited!" I went to go look, and it was only
no, it's just the last
one.
one.
I was so sad.
I would have loved all three.
I think we might get all three towards the real anniversary, which is in December. So
I'll sit in the theater for 12 hours straight.
Somebody's listening. It's a Fathom event. And I've been talking about this for years. Like, what the hell are you doing? This greatest trilogy of all time. It just passed its 20th anniversary. It should have had a wide release in some month close to the anniversary. That's nowhere near any like summer or something like that. But if you did it, late October, early November, whatever, it would have been the number one movie in the country easily.
Full release
like they did with Star Wars.
WB, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, and just have the cast say some nice things in the beginning. I think which they're going to do, and that's it. That's all you got to do. And like people will be cosplaying, there'll be lines, like it would be nuts. I checked my show, which is a month away, Chris. It's sold out. The one near me is sold out.
One of the theaters is half sold out already, so
it's nearly sold out. I just have the peripheral seats left.
I'm excited.
I got my tickets.
I don't think I watched it in theaters when I was a kid, so this is going to be a whole new experience for me.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It's the best movie going experience. I remember going and seeing it in the theater, being in a packed theater, sitting in the very back, being amazed at every second. Oh, I can't wait.
I need to schedule pee breaks, though. That's the only thing. I wish 3 hours and 21 minutes is a really long time to hold on to your pee.
Just don't drink for a day.
Just don't drink for a day. Yeah,
definitely.
Dedication.
You don't need to drink. You can't miss a second of that movie.
But by the way, the Fathom events thing, it's unbelievable how successful, because I've seen The Dark Crystal, Conan, Star Trek The Motion Picture. They showed the director's cut. The Fathom events is amazing. I saw Shin Ultraman, which was incredible. Like, they are really killing it. The whole philosophy behind it was nobody goes to see movies on Tuesdays. Like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday at least are kind of light, right? So they started just doing this on Tuesday. There'd be like one theater. I saw the restoration of like the first 4 episodes of I Love Lucy at a special event. So they do a lot of weird, like classic stuff. Now it's like they're expanding it. It's on Sundays. Like it's just on like regular, like a Thursday night, they're doing Fathom events, which tells you something about the health of the movie theaters, because it's kind of like, the whole philosophy behind like, when they have like unsold hotel rooms, it's like, well, we have movie theaters we can't fill up. What do we fill them up with?
Right.
Older classic films. Groundhog's Day, they've done, if you go to the website, there's like stuff playing all the time.
Like I watched Ghostbusters. I took all the kids to Ghostbusters.
Well, can't you rent out theaters now? You can rent out.
Also rent out theaters now.
So we should rent out a theater in Vegas.
Oh yeah,
you could do that. Yes.
What would we watch though?
Freaking Lord of the Rings, if I can get my hands on it. I'll look into that. I'll see what we can do.
Let me log into my Amazon Prime.
I'm gonna go look at it right now.
While we're here, UK dates, we got them because we had such a hard time booking our tickets. But we did it. So the UK dates are. You ready? Hang on, I gotta get to September. Boop, 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 boop.
I don't have a drum roll.
Oh my god. Wrong country.
People.
It's filled with
People.
So these are the dates I'm going to be there. We have to find a venue. We have to find a day. I'm still going to do Friday Night Tights. I don't miss Friday Night Tights, but we get there taking a red eye on Sunday, September 3rd. We're going to be there through the 10th. So 3rd
September
through 10th. I'm going to be there for a following week, but that's me and that's my wife. That we're doing our 20th anniversary.
It's private time.
So we're gonna go off and have fun. But that first week, so I'm gonna be there from the 3rd to the 10th of September of this year, and we'll get everything coordinated and let you know where the venue is gonna be and all that stuff and what we're gonna do. But now you know.
X-Ray, are you going?
Yes. But it's good. I honestly, I had no idea you guys were going to the UK that early because I thought it was October. I have a trip late August. I basically am home probably for 3 days before I go back.
Wait, so you're going back?
It's all good. You could do it. You're young.
Yeah.
You can do that turnaround. The reason we did it early in September is normally the weather's better. Not all the time, but normally the weather's better. That's when Shad can go, and that's a good distance away from Orlando.
Oh my god. Yeah. I'm excited for it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm so stoked. I've never been outside of the US.
Really?
And I love the UK. I love British peoples and their culture. So
yeah.
Can't wait to go see castles and drink Guinness and
seen castles with Shad.
Oh my god, castles with Shad would be amazing.
Awesome.
Like the congratulations.
I wanna get one of his chainmail shirts with him and be like Shad's Padawan. Well, no, what's the knight's apprentice?
Yeah.
Shad's apprentice.
Squire. All right. Chris.
Yes.
Your thoughts on Victoria Alonso? I know you probably talked about it a lot, but you haven't done it here. So,
No, I haven't.
Your thoughts on Victoria Alonso leaving Disney Marvel quietly, very quietly. By the way, before you start, I did notice she was not at the red carpet for Ant-Man.
She was not?
She was not, and I didn't think about it at the time.
Well, no, she was, but it was very limited.
Yeah, I thought I saw her.
She popped in for a second. It was kind of like, hey, here's Victoria Alonso.
Yeah, I missed that part.
And she talked for about 30 seconds and then they like shoot her away. And I thought it was like weird. I was like, okay, she's coming on. I'm going to get some good clips from this. And she didn't really say anything.
Yeah, because usually she's a clip machine. Chiqui
Right.
Chavez and Namor.
That's why I was like, yeah, I'm going to have some good content. But then she didn't say anything.
She didn't say anything. So what do you think, Chris?
First of all, I think it's a step in the right direction. But I think it's also, if not her, I mean, Kevin Feige's got to look at like, why is everything failing? And you can't blame it on the pandemic, right?
No.
You can't blame it on it. You know, when you look at how well Spider-Man No Way Home performed, that defied all of their excuses. And to me, she's been the one that has spearheaded everything that has failed. In particular, you know, Eternals, right? So I think this is a step in the right direction, but I think that the rot is at the core. So I really don't think, even though they may have, and look, normally, and she may land somewhere. Who knows? She may be at Lucasfilm and she may be spearheading a Star Wars movie. Who knows?
This is likely, actually.
I think that's likely because mostly people in Hollywood fail upward. But I think it's a sign that maybe they recognize, like, maybe I just think it's a terrible idea. And this is going to sound sexist, but I think if you have a brand,
Good.
so here we go. If you have a brand that is specifically targeted towards men and boys, you might want to have a man run that. You might want to have a lot of male energy
wacky.
running that thing.
Kind of crazy.
And I think that the feminization of both Marvel and Star Wars has been to its detriment. It's eroded the audience. And I would argue that also women like strong male energy. They just do. That's why, the first Avengers movie was so popular, not just amongst, longtime fans of Marvel, not just amongst men and boys, but women liked the first Avengers movie because it's basically, I've said it before, it's a Chippendales show. You've got, shirtless Steve Rogers. Well, that's gonna, some women's vaginas are going to explode. That's just going to happen.
America's ass.
Even though Chris Evans isn't really into him, it doesn't matter.
It's just the constant feminization of these brands is what's killing it. And the idea to sort of even desexualize characters like Black Widow, who was, when Scarlett Johansson first appeared as that character, was hot and sexy. There's a great, you've seen that video of Jon Favreau practically doing like a Tex Avery animated wolf, looking at her, strut down the hall is awesome. More of that. That's what we need more of. And I think the more that they ignore that, the less popular these films are going to be. Aside from the fact that like just these stakes, and I'm trying to remember, it might have been Critical Drinker talking about, or Mahler, just like, it might have been an EFAP thing. They're just like, nothing is taken seriously. Nothing is taken seriously. There might be stakes on paper, but we as the audience don't feel any of these stakes at all, which is why so much of this feels kind of soulless, lifeless content, because we have to fill a slot on our schedule at the movie theater, or because we have to have an X number of episodes of The Mandalorian. It all kind of feels that way. And it didn't feel that way at the beginning, even with whatever you thought about Force Awakens or, Last Jedi, or whatever. It felt like it was like leading to a conclusion. Obviously, they did not stick the landing. And I think it's the biggest disaster in movie history. The biggest missed opportunity were the Star Wars sequels.
Yes.
And then after Solo, like, wait, what are we doing? We're doing a Lando movie or a Lando TV series. Why? And then, the Kenobi was the nail in the coffin, I think, for Star Wars. It really was the final nail in the coffin. And with Marvel,
after a lot of other nails in that coffin.
Precisely. But it's also like it's just this slow decline. It's this slow decline. It's sort of like what Joe Biden's trying to do with the United States. It's a slow decline. Seriously, it's
Did you see that they had Velma, Mindy Kaling?
Oh God!
In an honorary position.
That was weird. I saw that. I thought, she's getting a medal for what? For just being a woman
for being around.
Did you see the letter that Kamala Harris sent to Dylan Mulvaney? It's just, we live in freaking clown world where sort of
Hunger Games
non-achievements are acknowledged. It's ridiculous. So I don't know. And also I want to Benny, I follow Benny on Twitter, and then I never watched his show on YouTube. I feel like an idiot, but he was so great on FNT. He made a really good point, which stuck with me, which I've been saying for a while. Where is the positive rhetoric about this country? About where's the optimism? When you look at like the rampant depression among teens, depression among adults, and Benny pointed out, it was so great FNT, by the way. It was so good, Gary.
Thank you.
A great just follow up to Gavin too, like a guy who gets it,
perfect follow up.
Benny gets it. He understands that it's important. He talked about Superman.
It's not planned that way, by the way. It's booked in advance.
God, you gotta have him. You gotta have him back. You gotta have Benny back. Gavin, I'm not sure, but Benny, he talked about Superman and what it represents. It's how we see ourselves, right? Like, represents America. Storytelling is important, and he talked about even that, like, past presidents would at least fake this optimism. Obama gave Whatever you think about Obama, he gave inspiring speeches. He could rally and touch people emotionally about optimism and positivity about the future. I've never heard a word out of Joe Biden's mouth about positivity, optimism, can-do American spirit, and I miss that. I grew up with that. I grew up with that. Even if it was like a president I didn't like, it's like
Reagan was freaking awesome at that, dude.
He was great.
I saw Cernovich dissing Reagan, bro. Cernovich, you were 11 when he left office.
Wear the mask, Cernovich. Yeah. That one.
Yeah. Cernovich.
But that positivity and the optimism and like, hey, we got problems. We can solve all of them, but we don't have to gut the middle class and destroy the poor to the point of, the rampant crime that is in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
it's on my Twitter. I put it just on my Twitter.
Los Angeles, what Hollywood preaches against the most, which is this divide between the epically rich, the elite, and the people who are not, is on display in all of America's cities now. Like the middle class is getting crushed. That's what drives our country. That's what makes us go, is the middle class, not the rich people. The middle class pay for most everything, and they do most everything. The giant billionaires will fund a lot of the industry, but the people who make it work is the middle class. End of story. And we want to lift more people into that middle class. That's what we want. And there's so much opportunity out there, and there's so much examples of the opportunity. But we have a lot of the uniparty and Hollywood telling you can never make it because you're marginalized. That is some bullshit. That is a message that Hollywood has been pushing for 6 years now. Like strongly pushing that position. And yeah, some people are gonna like, yep, I never had a chance. Fuck this place. No wonder. And that message being pushed through Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel Comics, DC Comics, fucking Lord of the Rings. Fuck these people for pushing that message through the stuff that brings us together, right? It's disgusting. Yep. So we have this is like peak freaking 2023, whatever the hell this is. I don't know. We even need sound. We'll just
waddle out there.
Probably goes, look at this young Mexican lady coming at me. Yeah. Is she gonna vacuum the White House? What is she doing? Oh, I'm giving her an award. Okay, that's Mindy Kaling, the showrunner for Velma, getting an award for being a woman. So congratulations, you're female.
You exist.
Apparently, you can define it. And this is what our president is doing while East Palestine still can't drink their freaking water. There's a useless proxy war going on to support the military industrial complex. And our country's going to crapola. He won't be around much longer, though. He really won't.
I'm surprised he made it this long, really.
No, I'm more
it's deteriorating.
The fact that the creator of Velma got an award at the White House.
I can't believe that.
She got awarded for doing a bad job.
It's hilarious. I was laughing my ass off this morning when I saw that. I'm like, good God,
man.
For anything more 2000, is it 2022? I think it's more 2022. We haven't really defined this.
Yeah, they're still stuck.
We still got a long ways to go. But yeah. So I think back to Disney, because like Disney's the big news around here. Like Victoria Alonso leaving is massive news. It's huge news. I don't know if I am not gonna lie to you guys. I don't think it's gonna turn jack shit around. I think the rot is all through Disney, and I've said that quite often. I think other companies will turn around much quicker. I think like Paramount possibly can turn around because they've had some successes that were non-woke, and it seems they have gone the other way. I think Warner Brothers outside of DC could possibly turn things around. You know what? DC is screwed no matter what. I think no matter what, it's their own doing. Warner Brothers never knew what to do. Warner Brothers is going ahead with these lame duck movies. They're also waiting 2 years to come out with a Superman movie. I think they got the wrong guy. I like to be proven wrong, but I think they got the wrong guy to do it. And I think they've gone about it all wrong. Plus, Marvel has killed any goodwill there is for superheroes because most people don't even know there's a noticeable difference between DC and Marvel. They just see superheroes, right? And there's no interest in Shazam, which was, I guess, arguably better than Ant-Man, which doesn't mean it's good, but it just absolutely flopped. And Ant-Man flopped. We have two massive superhero flops with sub-superheroes, let's be real. But we are deep enough to where they should be building up these B-list superheroes. This is the point where you do build up when you're 20 years in, 15 years in, depending on how you're gauging it, 30 years in. But when we gauge it from the MCU from 2008, God, it's been that long. Jesus. We're approaching 15 years, something like that. So this is bad. And Razor Fist did a great video on it. The term superhero fatigue will be thrown out, and it's not wrong. It's not wrong. And then people will say, well, it's bad movie fatigue. You're not wrong either. They're not really mutually exclusive from each other. But Razor Fist put it like, once the Westerns were done, you still got some good Westerns when good people made them afterwards, but they were done as a dominant genre.
In-game was peak. That was peak superhero.
Or medium, I should say.
That was popularity, was in-game. Everybody was into it, and now we're just watching the slow decline.
Yeah.
And eventual, it'll be like every once in a while we might get a movie here and there that's a superhero movie, but it's not going to be at the heights that it was. Because, we're seeing Phase 4 is just complete garbage, oversaturated. People are getting crap. They're expecting good stuff. Like, they're like, oh, I thought I was watching the MCU. I didn't realize I was watching a toilet. So they're just not going to come back.
Gary, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the colossal failure of Shazam 2, is James Gunn, or the people that put James Gunn in charge, those above James Gunn, are they looking at his slate and saying, do we really want to do a movie about the Authority? Because I don't know what that is. And by the way, I was so happy that you also noticed the young 70-year-old Billy Batson in the crowd because he's wearing that red shirt.
Yeah. He's wearing the Billy Batson shirt. I'm like, hey, they did the thing.
I loved it. He had that same goofy hair, but he looked mummified. But I love that show as a kid. Just an old man innocently going around the country in a motorhome with a young boy. What is weird about that?
Nothing weird about it at all.
I didn't think it was weird at the time. Now I look back and I'm like, maybe that was weird, but it was a fun show. But is James Gunn reevaluating his? Because how many things you could do a whole show on things that have been announced that never happened. When they announced like Zack Snyder's sort of vision going forward for Justice League Part 1 and Part 2, the Cyborg movie in 2018, the Flash movie, which was going to be a buddy film with Cyborg. There's been nearly everything, so many projects that Star Wars announced. Like maybe just make one good movie and then build upon that.
Well, what the studios have lost now is they had control of the narrative for a long time through Variety, Deadline, and Hollywood, and still do. But what they've lost is customer trust. It's a very important thing. Like, a multi-billion-dollar studio shouldn't just be willy-nilly announcing shit that they're not going to do. There's ways to announce it. You go, it's in development. But it hasn't been greenlighted yet. We're thinking about it. In development means we're thinking about it. We're thinking. Now they're just flat out announcing, like, this is going to happen, and here's the date. And these dates just get pulled all the time. And now people just like, oh, whatever, dude. It's just freaking wind. It's just white noise now. Yes, I had to say white.
White people.
White people.
White noise. And they've lost the public trust. They have, because they've been lying this whole time. And the reason is they are announcing these things as a marketing scheme to kind of deflect from their crap entertainment. So to reinforce Rian Johnson and the absolute, undeniable, objectively giant fucking disaster that was The Last Jedi, they announced a Rian Johnson trilogy. That the only reason they announced it was, no, we feel good about this. This is a success. They had no fucking intention of doing it. Are you kidding me? It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen. Sure, they'll let Rian Johnson think it's going to happen, but they just needed that to reinforce because there was enough division in the fandom to have it be in question. And they had really put the narrative that, no, people really like this, when people didn't. It killed Star Wars. If they want to hang on that narrative till the end of days, fine. I don't really give a shit, Disney. Dude, it's costing you, not me. But that's what marketing turned into. A Kurtzman trick has perfected it to the point where they've really tricked Paramount into making like multiple series that nobody watches. Hey, Strange New World's getting a season 3, everyone. Anyone give a shit?
I've never heard anybody talk about
that
show. I didn't even know it came out. I kept hearing about Strange New World. I was like, when is this show going to finally come out? It's on season 3.
Yeah, well, no, season 2 hasn't come out yet, but they're going to make a season 3, and then that'll be.
Are they really going to make it?
Yeah, that'll probably be it. Paramount's out of money. They're done. How they're going to make a season 3? I don't know. They're going to have to make it on a Picard budget. And I don't know if Akiva Goldsman can do what... No, Akiva Goldsman cannot do what Terry Matalas did. He can't. Just can't. Calling it right now. Don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying that, by the way. Picard season 3 is still freaking fantastic, and you get a new episode tomorrow. And I'm feeling pretty good about my tweet saying that Picard season 3 is better than Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good right now. Because I just watched that Mandalorian episode. And nothing happened. It didn't move the story forward. You know where it moved the story? Firmly in the direction of Bo-Katan. She's the Mandalorian now. I was laughing. Just freaking that armor girl boss. And like half the episode is a Mandalorian has to do very stoic things and talk slowly while they're armoring some little cute steel for little baby Yoda, who's he's a Yoda knockoff. It's a Boba Fett knockoff with a Yoda knockoff with a female Boba Fett knockoff. Nobody's taking off their masks anymore, so it's all voice acting. And they're like really dumb. I think the Star Wars universe is just filled with room temperature IQs, Chris, the way I'm seeing things, other than torturing the New Republic torturing people, which was unbelievable. That was last episode. That was like,
yeah, that was, this is, look, Star Wars is rudderless.
Yeah.
And it's going nowhere. And it seems like, as much as, we're hearing all this, Alonso news out of Marvel, my guess is that behind the scenes at Marvel, it's as bad or worse. It has to be. This is the result. Yeah.
Because I've heard you say this in the past, and we all know this. Disney, to its credit, back in the day, used to let their subsidiaries run autonomously. They did. They put a leader at that. It used to be Ike Perlmutter at Marvel, and they would let them run as long as they were making them money. They were fine. Worked for Pixar for years, man. They just let John Lasseter run that ship, and he was great. He was great until he gave some stupid 22-year-old intern a hug, and that 22-year-old intern, who probably has no job at Disney right now, ruined one of the greatest animated studios of all time.
Yeah. John Lasseter's third generation Disney animator.
Yep.
That's the original animators taught the second generation. That was like Don Bluth. And then the third generation was John Lasseter, Tim Burton, like all of these titans that we have now, that we had. John Lasseter was in there. And that's why he was so integral to pushing animation forward, and you fired him because he was a likable guy.
I walked around the Pixar. A friend of mine got me into the Pixar studios in Emeryville right before they were going to make Brave, because there was a big Brave poster. And the reason I got invited was they found some old Walt Disney home movies that he made of building Disneyland, and they were going to show them for the first time in the theater at Pixar. And I just knew somebody through the comic store. Got my little pass, went there. And when I walked in that building, they're like, one movie built this building. And it's it's an immense building. And they said Toy Story. Toy Story built this building, and you go there, and the men's bathrooms are Mr. Incredible, and the women's are Elastigirl. They're probably, I don't know what the trans bathroom is now, but that's what it was back then. And I got to watch that, and I'm like not the biggest Disney fan. I'm just not. I like Pixar. I love The Incredibles, but it was cool to see like them breaking ground at Disneyland, and Walt like with a shovel digging, like he was doing work there and running around, and it was really cool. Then hearing all the stories from the animators, but yeah, it was a really impressive building. It was a really cool experience. And now it's toast. Now it's toast because some 22-year-old couldn't get a hug from John Lasseter, and it probably was like a bro hug, Chris. It probably wasn't like, oh, it was probably like, but opportunistic activists will do that all the time. People, like, you have to be so careful now because people are willing to do anything to make a name for themselves for clout, including taking out an entire industry. That's why there has to be checks and balances for this stuff, because people are not trustworthy in that aspect, especially in the entertainment industry. And
we should absolutely be like mindful of people taking their power and using it and misusing it. But when you have people out here just throwing these accusations around, it's meaningless. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, it's just annoying. It's just, you know what? Maybe it's a generational thing. I was never much of a hugger, myself personally, but I remember back in the day, and you know who this person is, Leo Buscaglia, who promoted that hugging is almost like a form of therapy. It can lift your spirits. It's not as some might suggest that it's a sexual thing. It's hugging among friends or family, whatever. It's just like he had to promote that hugging should be a thing. Okay, so maybe and look, I've met John Lasseter. I went to his house. I was this is like back in the early 2000s. I programmed a festival called the Sonoma Valley Film Festival, which is in the wine country outside of San Francisco. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Not personally my scene. It's a bunch of rich people, and I always feel like I'm in an episode of Laverne and Shirley whenever
champagne liberals filled with them.
All these references are only for Gary. That's because he'll get them all. But so I programmed the festival, and I tripled their attendance in 1 year because I basically stopped showing like these sort of feminist. They showed a movie at this festival the year before I was there about a woman's vagina being sewn up. And this was something they thought would appeal to the locals. I'm not making this up. It was some sort of feminist art film. And I'm like, yeah, we're not showing movies like that. Like, what are the demographics of this city of Sonoma Valley, that area? And I just looked at it. I said, we're going to show a romantic comedy indie film. We're going to show a comedy. We're going to show a heartfelt documentary. And all I did was program movies that people would want to see. In the first year, I tripled the attendance. The second year, I doubled it. They wanted me to stay on. I didn't want to be a festival director. It was sort of a fun thing for me to do freelance for 6 months of the year. But I was good. But John Lasseter was on the board of the festival. Also, Robin Williams was involved. I got to go to John Lasseter's house, interviewed him we did like this little promotional video. One of the nicest guys, so personable. And he's on the short list of celebrities I've met where they don't make it about themselves. They make it about you. They're interested in what you have to say, what your ideas are. And it was just like, it was crazy just to sit here. It's the guy who created Toy Story. My kids love Toy Story. Like he just, and created an animated movie that appealed across, to young and old. Like, as a parent, I look forward to Pixar movies because I knew I would like them as much as my kids, and I would see it at a different level. So not anymore, but he was just an awesome person. Yeah. You know what? He liked to hug people, but I never saw anything untoward. He never said anything that was inappropriate. And, we're also allowed to be human. We're allowed to like make mistakes, or, it's incumbent upon you. It's really, to me, a young generation that's not accountable for their own behavior. That's what it is. And of course, X-Ray Girl was talking about this show. What is it? The Whatever podcast,
Oh my God.
Talking about it.
Yeah.
You're looking at an entire generation of people that choose to not be accountable for their behavior. You have to be accountable for your feelings. And if you feel maybe I'm not as much of a hugger, you might want to let that person know and just say, you know what, I'm going to do the bro kind of shoulder. That's my go-to. It's the sort of like you sort of hug, but you sort of like hit shoulders. Seems
like a bump.
Yeah, side hug.
It's more of a manly hug, but whatever. The point is that's, I never heard about anything other than that. What a great guy. It's a long way to say, like, I got to know him. He was at parties. He was the coolest. He went around every table and just talked to everybody. And he does this thing in the wine country where for every Pixar movie, he does a magnum of wine. Because I will say this, John Lasseter, huge wine drinker, loves wine. Okay. But he would do a special magnum for every movie, and he would it was a special thing, and there'd be a sticker on it that was like his, and he auctioned them off, and we got like most of the budget for the festival. We're not talking small sums of money. Auctioning off a bunch of these, collector magnums of wine. But what a great person who may have made some kids uncomfortable because they weren't hugged as kids.
Whatever. He's off to his other studio doing well. He's gonna crush Disney, and good
for him. Look at the things that are, and this Mario movie's coming out. It's coming out on you can see it Tuesday at midnight the week it opens. I'm not, which is is it the week after or before Easter? In any case, that movie
that's gonna have legs. That's gonna be like an evergreen film, I think. I know dick about Nintendo and Mario, but other than Donkey Kong.
Right.
But the branding is there. Like it's been
cool. It
a
looks
family
really
brand.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to do better than Frozen?
I hope so.
I don't know. I hope so. Yeah. Frozen is garbage.
I have to hear
garbage.
Let it go.
No.
I'd ban that in my house.
I was working at Chrysler before I went to Tesla. We had that piped in music, and that fucking song came on every 20 minutes. I just never again.
I had to work those theaters, clean those theaters after all those kids. Ugh.
Oh no, you poor thing.
Hey, remember when people thought violence would happen during Joker, but it was actually during Frozen 2 when there was a knife attack?
It was a big distraction,
and I don't blame him at all. I wish him all the best. He got Me Too'd for bullshit reasons, like many, like he was, powerful enough to come back. So many people couldn't. And, Hollywood will rue the day. They got rid of a lot of talent. Listen, there were some definite creeps for sure. Harvey Weinstein, and there still are, by the way, but there was a lot of collateral damage because it was a witch hunt. It was a giant. Remember when you couldn't say it was a witch hunt? Remember?
Right.
That was you couldn't say. Me Too was a fucking witch hunt. It turned into an opportunistic witch hunt, and it took out a lot of people. And a lot of women knew what the hell was going on and didn't say anything until it was advantageous for them to say something. Meryl Streep. So, it's
God.
They are committing suicide. Hollywood is committing suicide, telling half of their audience to F off for 5 years, just putting, and then really buying into this neo-Marxist garbage of identity and filling their coffers with no talent at all, like none. And then bringing people over who are not good fits, like Jon Favreau writing television. That's a terrible fit. Jon Favreau should be writing fun movies. He's good at fun movies with witty banter. That's what he's really good at. That's why he excelled at Iron Man, although Robert Downey Jr. just let him ad-lib half that movie.
They were writing it while they were shooting it. So.
Seems like by all accounts a nice guy, just trying to be a team player. I get it, but he is not going to fix Star Wars. It's pretty obvious. Disney has owned Star Wars for over 10 years, and it is a category on a fledgling streaming service. That's what it is right now.
I will say, sorry, Favreau was one of the directors that was approached about Episode 7.
Yep.
And he turned it down. So he was, and oh my God, think how different things would have been if a guy who, because he clearly understands the tone of Star Wars and it's more of a Western, at least if you look at the first season of The Mandalorian. I think they've gotten distracted with this whole Baby Yoda stuff. Baby Yoda should have been a one season and gone, and then maybe recurring, right? But he hands them. I mean, it's gotten. I feel like also there's a percentage of the audience that's just confused, right? Like, wait, I saw the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian and Grogu was passed off to Luke. I thought he was gone. I didn't watch Boba Fett. I don't know what's going on. Or I'm watching the end scene of Quantum Mania and wait, Loki is there. I didn't watch Loki on Disney Plus. I don't know what's going on. You know, to me, I only, as much as like I actually liked a lot of the stuff that came from the expanded universe. I know who Dash Rendar is from Shadows of the Empire.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to anyone who knows who Dash Rendar is. I have the soundtrack to Shadows of the Empire, which is
it's so good.
It's a really good soundtrack. It's shocking. But like as much as I love that stuff, I really only cared about what happened in the movies. I almost saw anything outside of the movies as Elseworlds, right? Like it just like, okay, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't.
It happened, maybe it didn't until we see it in the movie. I was
in the movie, and then it's like,
Until
if it's
it's
in a movie, it
confirmed.
matters. But I don't care about anything else. I think that way about the TV shows. I think that way about the comic books and the novels, with all due respect, because there's some very good stuff. Heir to the Empire, that trilogy, the Timothy Zahn thing.
Dude, Heir to the Empire and Dark Empire. I love them both.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love
Heir to
them
the Empire should have been the next trilogy. It's
Or
just
a
baffling that
version
they
of
didn't
that.
even take any of those points and made
None
it
of those
into the
good
trilogy.
ideas.
It's insane.
You know what? Different franchise, but you know what? Book series is absolute canon in my head is William Shatner. By the way, happy birthday, William Shatner. 92 today.
That's the
Shares
show.
the birthday with my son. That's right.
William Shatner's return. The return is solid canon in my Star Trek head. And if you keep a close eye out in Picard, I'm just gonna say that. Keep a close eye out. Keep a close eye out. Could be this episode, could be the following one, could be episode 8. Not really sure, but you got to keep a close eye out.
92. So he
It
last
looks
night
fantastic for 92.
I was up way too late. Also, because I watched that whatever podcast based on X-Ray Girl's recommendation.
I don't know how you
But
like.
I can only stand the clips. I don't think I can watch.
Hey,
the whole
I actually recommended it.
show.
Mary.
Yeah, it was based on your recommendation.
Oh,
Pop Culture
Anyways.
Crisis was on.
oh, I don't remember this.
Yeah, wasn't she on roasting them the other day?
I don't know. But,
You know,
William
Pop
Shatner.
Culture Crisis is Tim Pool's pop culture show.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was
know.
on.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
watching.
Brett and Mary are like, they asked me to be. I couldn't make it because they asked me to be on in April. It's like, can't do it. Maybe later. Maybe
So
later.
William, speaking of William Shatner, there's a great interview on the South by Southwest official YouTube channel, which my channel gets more views than the South by Southwest official channel. It's weird. It's weird, like this big event. But they did an hour-long interview with Shatner, interviewed by Tim League from the Alamo Drafthouse. It is such a good interview. He like runs circles around Tim. And the guy's in his 90s. It was crazy. He was telling about, he was talking about that movie he did for, was it Roger Corman, The Intruder, back in the 60s, about segregation and just like how he got on. I mean, stories like, because Gary, you were telling me about how great he was live. Holy shit, the guy he's got more energy than me. I'm looking at him. I can't keep up. It's crazy.
No, he's so vibrant and charming. And you like get, like, why you can't just act certain things. You can't act charm and charisma, and he just is born with it. You know, it also helps that he's like a legit classically trained actor, right? Shakespearean classically trained actor. He's very dramatic, which might put some people off, but there is no Star Trek without William Shatner. I hope Paramount and the Star Trek channel and on Twitter, I haven't checked. Hopefully they've wished him a happy birthday today. Because I know they omitted him off a fucking poster the other day. which made a lot of news. But it's that would be a very bad look. But yeah, the guy's amazing. Like if you have a chance to go see him live on one of his tours with Wrath of Khan, like go, like absolutely go. Can't miss it. It's so good. And he's doing some live thing.
They did wish him a happy birthday. I'm
They
surprised.
did. Good. I'm a little shocked. Good for them.
Star Trek Twitter account.
I would have roasted the crap out of them till the end of time if they forgot. No, but he's pushing some environmental thing that he's doing. He's going to be doing another spoken word singing thing for the environment. It's like, okay, fine. Whatever. you're William Shatner. You can do it.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
You're all good. You're all good. Let's take some questions. And we'll. I don't think we can read that whole thing, dude. I think we'll just look at it. We'll just look at it. Because God, there is something that is just unbelievable. I got it to work. So, but first, let's take some questions. Hellrats 96 for $20 says the last episode of Mando was bad. The dialogue was terrible. How many times did they say they have to be quiet or the beast would kill the kid? For one, the beast would have ate the kid. Okay, so in the beginning of the episode, Grogu is now training to be a Mandalorian, not a Jedi, a Mandalorian. So he has to take on a kid. They have to shoot little paintball darts at each other. And he does this little flip over. It looked terrible. It looked fucking terrible. But then the kid is on that same beach in episode 1 where the prehistoric alligator came and attacked and ate a few people. And this pterodactyl comes down, this pterodactyl monster thing, and grabs the kid, takes it back to his lair, and just like hangs out with it for a day. I don't know. While the Mandalorians are dicking around trying to figure out where it went. They have jetpacks, they have ships, but they went back to their base and they're like, let's map it. There's its lair. Let's go. So they spend the entire episode doing that. And in the middle of the episode, we get a giant flashback. Grogu goes into the armorer's lair and she starts making a little piece of cute little Beskar so all the girls can go, oh, the Mandalorian, oh, the little baby.
Look at him. It's so cute, his little armor.
Oh my God, it's so cute. So adorable. Just sitting there right there.
Like,
look at his big ears.
You know what? Just put a fucking puppy on the screen. You'll get the same reaction. At least it's real. But no, and like, yeah. So Grogu hears the pounding of the armorer, and he has a flashback of Order 66. He's back at Order 66. So the Jedi you saw in the trailer, they get killed in order of privilege immediately. The men die first, and then the woman dies last. I half expected the woman to save him, while a girl boss, Mandalorian, is doing this little voiceover thing. And he goes down an elevator, and then Ahmed Best is there as a Jedi. Now, like, is this a good moment? Is this like bringing him back to Star Wars after all the criticism he took for Jar Jar Binks? Sure. And he gets his little moment as a Jedi, and he fails to save Grogu because he eventually gets caught by the Empire anyway. But he races Grogu to safety, and then we get back out of the flashback, and then we're back on this adventure to save the kid from the pterodactyl who just decided not to eat him right away. And or his young didn't decide to eat him, or her young decided not to eat him right away, and they dick around forever. Look, at one point, there's a Mandalorian in the pterodactyl's mouth, and it decides not to eat it. It's like you have the bigger one in the mouth, and you don't eat it. And when they eventually stop it, Chris, you had to have guessed. As soon as that thing hits the water, the giant alligator is going to come back and eat it, and of course, that's what happened.
Oh my God!
The end. That's the episode. It's the entire fucking episode. It was 30 minutes, and it felt like an hour. Oh, and the end is Bo-Katan losing her one of her shoulder pads, and the armor is like, "Do you want me to put the owl on it again?" She's all, "No, I want the mythosaur." And she says, "I saw a mythosaur," and the armorer goes, "You will see many things if you walk the way of the Mandalorian." And that was it. Stupid fucking music that's not Star Wars. When Picard came back, Chris, and I thought it was going to be utter shit. I was just like, I'm going to roast this. This is going to be bad. It's going to be just as bad as season 2. It's it's nice of somebody to try to send me the episodes, but you might regret it. You might live to regret that. It was not Paramount, by the way. It was not Paramount. But with the first thing I went is the music. And what that was, oh, are they taking this seriously? And it wasn't just the theme. It was the ambient music. When people are walking around, it's all Star Trek. It's all Star Trek music. And you're like, huh, okay, weird. And, by the first episode, I was done. I was kind of like it's the same with House of the Dragon. It's like, well, I didn't hate it. I didn't want to throw anything at my screen. So we'll keep going. We'll see what happens. I certainly expect the rug to be pulled out from under me any moment now. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Mando this is so much worse than, I'm not a fan of, season 2. I thought it was filled with member berries. While I recognize the return of Luke meant a lot to a lot of people, it didn't move me in any way, shape, or form. It didn't. It just didn't. And I think Mando season 1, is whatever. It was a fine start. I think it was fine, but this is bad, Chris. This is like, it's over. Like, what do they got after this? Like, I don't even know. Like Andor's not going to help.
No, season 2 of Andor. I mean, based on the ratings of season 1, it'll only go down from there. So,
and he's dead. The dead character.
Another dead character. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like nobody wants to see prequels about dead characters. They just don't, unless they're surrounded by characters who are still alive that mean something to the later story. Like Obi-Wan's, you can make a prequel about Obi-Wan, who made the ultimate sacrifice and, technically lived on. He died, but he moved, he's still alive. He's still alive in the Force. Yeah, Han Solo walked into a lightsaber like a fucking moron. Nobody wants to see a prequel from that. And Luke. And they didn't do anything to move things forward. And what Picard shows is people want the story to move forward. They just do. And believe me, Kurtzman Trek will immediately stop and go back to their stupid fucking ways because they haven't. I mean, not hiring Terry Matalas back by now should tell you everything.
I mean, they're not like getting him back to do something, anything. It's weird.
As far as I know. I mean, they love announcing shit, Chris. They love Section 31.
Yeah. Well, what happened? My God, you can do a whole stream on just everything announced that never happened, and that's where I think some of the so-called fatigue is about. It's fatigue of just being like either tired of the bait and switch or tired of just like, look, I ordered a pizza and you delivered waffles. I would like a pizza, right? And preferably with pineapple and ham and all that. But anyways, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, I think the audience is just sort of tired of it. That's why I think James Gunn they have to be looking at Shazam, the sequel, and looking at it's the most innocuous, Shazam, not overly woke. It's just sort of it is what a family superhero movie, and that tanked. They got to be looking at James Gunn saying, "You're doing this movie, The Authority. We're doing a Waller series. We're doing what? Why are we doing all these things? Just make one good
series." Yeah.
Oh, I know, like one good Superman movie. That should be the focus. They should be introducing Superman at Hall H at Comic-Con, and he should have never put out that 5-minute video that looked kind of sad. It looked like it's like every time I feel when I'm at the Courtyard Marriott getting a little Danish wrapped in plastic. I feel a little I like Danish. I'm just a little sad that I'm at a Courtyard Marriott where someone's having a meeting today that's very important. I can tell by what they're wearing. It just bad experiences at hotels. Anyways, it just looked like what a terrible way to announce this thing that's supposed to be huge. It should have been at Hall H, and here's our Superman, and Superman comes out on this date, and we're also doing this, like some, you know, some showmanship or something. I don't know what this, like, first of all, Celebration is just a few weeks away, Star Wars Celebration. What are they going to talk about? And how can anyone be excited?
Drag shows
anymore?
Fuck, fine.
Yeah.
I heard that panel might have been canceled, but
yeah, I think it was. I heard it was too. But I mean, if they announce, they can't even announce a movie right now. They can't. I mean, they probably will, but
no one would believe them. No one would believe them.
Like, okay, sure. Damon Lindelof just left.
Yeah.
And good. He sucks. But yeah, and of course some twat waffle. We need to bring that back. Thanks, Ass. Brought up. I'm not going to bring it up on Twitter. That the emotionally stunted nerds are keeping us from getting a good Star Wars movie. No, corporate retards are keeping us from getting a good Star Wars movie. It has nothing to do with the fans. We simply react to what is given. We have no control. We are not the gatekeepers. We do not own these IPs. They do. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And it's such a simple fix. You have to swallow some pride. And you have to
can't do that.
Reach out and find some people who are fucking fans who also know how to write. And there's too many people at Lucasfilm. There's too many new people at Lucasfilm who feel threatened by that because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And if somebody comes in who knows what they're doing, they know they will be gone. So there's so much corporate politicking and job protection and quite frankly, wokeness that has ruined everything. And I would, Pablo Hidalgo would be the first person I fire at Lucasfilm before Kathleen Kennedy. It'd be Pablo Hidalgo.
It feels like Chris's story earlier. Like, instead of giving us good shows and what the audience would want, they're just giving us vagina sewn together movies. We need somebody like Chris to come in and go, look, let's cancel all those. We don't need any of these. We need good shit.
Yeah,
it's lingering.
Oh my God! See, even your kid's upset. I'm with them.
He's not happy.
I'm with your kid.
I'm with your kid.
I'm curious, what were the reasons Lindelof left? Because that was announced and dispensed with quickly. When you look at it's so funny. I was watching Geeks and Gamers in the morning, Ryan and Jeremy talking. Even John Campea is now like, what the fuck how is Kathleen Kennedy still there with all these announced projects? And I'm gonna get that
he has to say that with 15 minutes of qualifiers. So sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. But no, what Damon Lindelof must have sat in a room with all the story group with them going, nope, you can't do that. Nope, in the timeline, this can't. Nope, that would change that. Nope, that's not canon. Like, there's got to be a lot of just and it's like, look, dude, you want to get that kind of thing right, but this whole, it's the modern Hollywood checklist that's killing any creativity.
So you probably know this, Chris, and you've heard me say this before, but this is for anybody who's new here. So I know more people who work for Marvel than Star Wars, but I had somebody who shopped at my store forever who worked at Lucasfilm. And so I got it corroborated by that person and another person, like definitively what the problem is. And this shouldn't surprise anybody. It's the story group. The story group is the definitive problem. That's why I said Pablo. Pablo and that story group are responsible for fucking up Star Wars. And there's a lot of faith put into them, and they just suck. By the way, Rian Johnson took he took all the credit for writing that script for The Last Jedi. It was a story group. Story group came up with that shit. So they've come up with a lot of the shit. They're fucking terrible. I mean, we saw that whiteboard. We all saw the whiteboard. Dinosaurs and diversity twice.
Hey, Mandalorian season 2.
There's a lot of dinosaurs.
A lot of dinosaurs.
A lot of dinosaurs. Can't really tell if there's diversity because everybody's got their helmet on, but And that episode was directed by, like, I love Carl Weathers. He's a legend, man. But it was written like shit. So yeah, it's the story group. And ultimately Kathleen Kennedy, who, however good of a producer she was, or making a good cup of coffee, not really sure. I mean, you can't deny that. She's like, her name is attached to so many great movies. I'm thinking has a lot to do with her husband, Frank Marshall, but that's just me. But whatever. She's a terrible leader. And we've said that from day one. Once, and she should have been fired in 2019. She should have been fired. Absolutely. But Disney, just looking at the bottom line, and it has a lot to do with hubris and pride too. Just looking at the bottom line, thought it would be bad optics to get rid of her because it would make the trolls, the bigots, the Russian bots right. Well, I mean, you mean the paying customer? We were right. We're still right. We'll be right tomorrow. And way to kill the easiest intellectual property to adapt of all time. Because there's not like Tolkienian mythos with Star Wars. And listen, EU fans, I hear you. I love you. But it's not Tolkienian mythos. Just don't even start. But there was enough there. You had the EU by itself. All you had to do was adapt that. Just pick and choose the best of the EU till the end of time. But they decided to cancel it immediately. And then not put Han, Luke, and Leia in the scene together. We should have known then. So books will be written. Documentaries will be filmed or videoed or AI'd, whatever, Chris.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's audio dramas. Look forward to audio dramas in the future, because that's what Star Trek will be. That's what Doctor Who will be soon. I mean, it's all,
Did you say AI?
The WG will allow artificial intelligence in script writing as long as writers maintain credit. This article is by AI. I'm sorry, Gene. Mad us.
It'll be an improvement. It'll be an improvement.
Wow. Strike's coming. Strike is coming.
Strikes are coming.
6 weeks.
Here's 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks.
And it's a writer's strike.
I don't know if it's gonna. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to make any difference.
Improvement.
Yeah.
I mean, enough stuff's in production right now, so it doesn't affect what's in production. I don't know. How does that affect rewrites, though?
I don't know. Can showrunners rewrite stuff? I'm not sure.
Yeah, are they allowed?
I'm not sure either. And is it just the Writers Guild going on strike, or are there going to be others, you think?
That I also don't know. I'll reach out to one of my contacts. He knows what's up.
I think a strike this year would be the worst thing imaginable for Hollywood. It'd be so hilarious. It'd be so dumb. We're going to strike when no one has any money. Okay. Good idea.
And add to that all the layoffs. So the Disney layoffs are coming in April. 4,000 jobs will be lost, and 3,000 listed jobs will be removed, meaning they were about to hire an additional 3,000 people to fill positions. Those positions will not be filled. So, I don't know how long or what kind of effect that's going to have, but it's going to be dramatic. But I think you and I were chatting. I just feel the rot is too deep. Even if you get rid of a lot of different people, the rot is too deep in that company. It's Disney's best days are behind it.
Yeah. And they're the big dog in Hollywood, and they're going to take the rest of it, a lot of it down with this. I mean, they drove a lot of the third-party VX companies. You're going to see a lot of them closing. That'll be the first affected, is these third-party effects companies will just start shutting down left and right, because there'll be less effects being used. Budgets are being slashed. Amazon is just laid off 9,000 people. They gutted freaking Twitch. Later Twitch. Days are done.
All the deerkin. What are they gonna do?
Oh no.
Deerkin, they can go out and graze and then maybe get eaten by a wolf. I don't know.
Go back to the wild.
Back to the wild with the deerkin.
That's a furry convention.
Disney layoff rounds likely starting before annual meeting. details on cuts emerge. Well, do you know why they do that? Because it helps inflate the stocks. With Disney April 3rd shareholder meeting. Oh my God, that's coming up soon. But I mean, that stuff bores me to tears. I just wait for other YouTubers to talk about it. Just a virtual affair this year. Well, yeah, because they don't want to be in person doing that. Less than 2 weeks away, some clarity is emerging about the company's plans to reduce staff and cut costs. Insiders tell Deadline that multiple rounds of cuts are being prepared. The first one is being targeted for late March, being Victoria Alonso. Likely next week, we hear March 3rd or March 31st have been floated as possible dates, but it has not been confirmed. According to sources, there will be a big wave late April, described as the big one. Ooh, the big one and the bloodbath.
Oh, man.
When a large portion of cuts are expected to come. Isn't it weird that if we don't learn from history, we are doomed to repeat it? Doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
So here we are. You know, the Great Recession started in 2008 at the end of one president's run, but went well into the next president's run, who didn't do a goddamn thing about it. And his vice president is president now. Gave good speeches, bailed out all the motherfucking banks. Disney declined. I think we could just end it right there. We don't need to put to comment. If you just erase to comment and put Disney declined, I think that might be the most accurate statement in this argument. I mean, this article. Senior Disney executives, after peeing their pants, have been hashing out specifics of the reductions in recent weeks. We hear that most managers already have submitted their layoff target reports. Does it include the managers? How about the DEI management team? Where do they go? Because they've been the first ones. I'm like, well, that's easy. Gone. The step corporations take before a major workforce culling. CEO Bob Iger revealed the scope of the cuts during the company's February 8th quarterly earnings call. By the way, these are the okay. Remember, he was going to roll back some Bob Chapek stuff, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, one of the Bob Chapek things was to lay off 7,000 employees. Didn't roll that one back, did he?
No.
Interesting. And 5.5 billion, including 3 billion from content. Starting, but not ending, with the fall guy, Victoria Alonso, who took one for the team because they weren't going to get rid of Kevin Feige. ESPN, who cares? Like, does anybody watch ESPN anymore? I don't watch ESPN. I used to watch ESPN all the time. But
I watch sports. I can't watch people talking about sports because it's not about sports. It's about gossip, drama, and whatever someone calling something racist. It's just it's annoying. It's annoying because to me, sports and the military was something I always looked up to. You know, I'm not a particularly athletic guy, but you know, I keep myself in good shape. But I always loved watching competitive sports. It unites us. It shows the lesson of sports. The lesson of the military is people from different backgrounds, all different types of people can come together towards a common goal. That is the story of America. And to see sports corrupted and the military corrupted by this modern day nonsense is disgusting, and it's going to destroy the country.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, quick sports note, sorry, but Ryan pointed it out in a Sports Wars video that the first round of I could give a fuck about basketball, college. I care less about all of it.
Yeah,
but the tournament, the first round of the tournament, like destroyed NBA ratings. Just destroyed it.
Wow.
Yep. So people, and the World Baseball Classic got really good, which was really compelling, by the way. I'm a baseball fan. I am a baseball fan. But freaking Japan won. Well done, Japan. You beat us. You destroy the American comic. Well, no, you're beating the American comic book industry and our baseball team. Well done. Well done. Ethno state. Disney is far from paring back. Media and tech companies have laid off thousands of workers during recent turbulent months, but with spiking interest rates. So they're saying everything's fine. Like, people get fired by the thousands all the time during recessions. Fucking deadline, man. Why are they so afraid to tell the truth? Well, I think it's because they've hitched their wagon so closely to this industry. It's not like the industry is the industry's changing. The entertainment isn't going to die. Deadline will always have stuff to report on. But they need that industry to be in LA. They need that industry to be Hollywood. Guess what? Hollywood, you're crumbling. You're falling. This is it. You've had your peak, and that's it. Now entertainment is massively fragmented, and it's easier than ever for people to turn on their microphones and their cameras and compete with you. And while you're spending millions on studios and putting people like Drew Barrymore or whatever kneeling to some dude, and it's costing you millions of dollars, then there's thousands of us just turning on our microphones in our spare bedrooms. I know, total losers in our spare bedrooms. We're not renting a studio somewhere like some other fat cats out there, but I'm fine with being a total loser.
A home studio.
I know, a home studio. I'm not rolling with any bitches. I'm just in my spare bedroom. I do have 2 female dogs, but
that counts.
That counts.
Does that count? When I take them
You
for a
got,
walk?
you
Am I
got
rolling
2 of
with my
them.
bitches?
Yeah, you take them out for a walk every day.
Yeah.
Keep them on a leash.
Content spending. Hail Eric July, by the way. Destroying egg-shaped man.
That was such
on a
good
daily
stream.
basis. That was one of my favorite streams of all time.
So good.
That and Tyrone is taking care of your kid. Dude. I fell out of my chair. I was laughing so hard. Content spending 2023 WBD and BCU projected to reduce expenses. There you go. I just like the graphic of the boo.
Look at this.
Yep.
Look at all that spending Disney does.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cuts.
And then like Hulu, like that thing has to be resolved by next year. So they could sell their share, make a bunch of money, or they're going to have to buy it from Comcast, but they can't share it anymore. They can't. But Hulu is a successful streaming service. It's one of the few like real successful streaming services. So who knows what happens there? I think Disney's just going to cut and run. I mean, why not just sell it? But this is what happens. I talked about this years ago. Disney back in the 90s remember Chris, when they bought the Ducks and the Big A and the Angels, and they got into sports, and this is right around when they got ESPN2 or maybe later. But they got into sports. So they bought sports teams. And they found out that and a bunch of corporations bought sports teams, and guess what? All the corporations stopped. Do you want to know why? Because they're not really made. They're vanity projects for billionaires. They generate money, but not enough for a corporation to own it. It just doesn't work. They don't. Like even Spanos, who owns the Chargers. Sorry, I wish he owned the Rams. But the NFL wants to get rid of that dude because he's too poor. Because he's not technically a billionaire, so he's too poor to own an NFL team, and they'd love to get rid of him, but they can't right now. Guy's a joke, but yeah, so what did Disney have to do? They sold him. So would they do that? Possibly with an IP, maybe. I don't think. Honestly, I don't think they'll ever get rid of Star Wars or Marvel, but I think they'd rather sit on them. But sell Pixar at some point, maybe.
Please.
Maybe. Well, it'd be done. Like Lasseter was Pixar. Let's just come out and
Yeah,
say
and you think I think the current CEO is one of the original guys from the old days of Pixar, and I don't understand how they can't keep that the same creative. Like they just keep making the same movie. It's Elemental. It's another movie about two elemental things getting together. Oh, the last one was emotions getting together. It's like, you remember when they were like making innovative stories, like superhero stories was cool with Incredibles, and they had the
The
Monsters
Incredibles
Inc.
is
and
still one of the
and
best superhero stories ever made.
Yeah, absolutely.
First one's the
sure,
best Fantastic Four movie by far.
And that's the diversity we need, is like diversity of storytelling and settings and ideas, and they just keep shitting out the same thing. I mean, and that's across the entire industry.
And we're at such a crossroads at storytelling, right? You know, aside from all the identity politics and woke stuff, it is diluted everything down to just like, sorry to get back to the Mandalorian, kids, but after watching that, I have watched, as Chris pointed out, I have seen Saturday morning cartoons in the 70s written better than that. Like Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends episodes were written better than that. And he had a little base in his fucking apartment, okay? And nobody was hitting Firestar, which made no sense to me at all, even back then. She was, hot, right? Duke Devil 95 is gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. And Chris Bolts for $20 says, there was a man who said, make America great again, and Americans turned that into a slur. I know. And there's this big dog and pony circus going on about whether they're going to arrest him or not, and they'll just arrest him right into office. That's what they'll do.
It's all of that is theater. All of that is theater. I have a friend of mine who's a cameraman. He'd work on like shows like Monday Night Football, right? They hire camera dudes. He lives in LA, and he just, he's a camera operator for hire. He does sports, but he also does political events. And he would just tell me that, all this political, when you see all the campaigning, it's a TV show. We are making a TV show. Everything is so mapped out to every detail. He mentioned that he thought that Hillary was an idiot, that he even talked to and it wasn't necessarily that she was dumb, but she was surrounded by a lot of dumb people. And he was trying to explain to her, like, you should just go on Howard Stern. It's funny, she eventually ended up going on Howard Stern, but he had a lot of nice things to say about Trump, oddly. He's just a camera guy, right? Just a camera guy, but he just straight up said, everything you see, it's all theater. It's all for show. It's all to push something. And I think this whole thing of Trump being arrested, it's theater. And I think it's gonna backfire.
Oh, it's already backfired. It's backfired on a lot of people. But remember, it's theater. We have much bigger, like, yes, it's bad when when our judicial branch, the law, is used to take out a political opponent of any side, and that needs to never fucking happen, because once one side does it, the other side's going to do it, and then we're breaking everything fucking down. So that's bad. But we also have much, much worse things going on right now. Yeah, voting has consequences. Is that what I always heard? And it's a great line. It's a great line from Ro in Picard episode 5, when she's talking to him about their relationship, as mentor and apprentice, but also friends. They were friends. And she was disappointed that, like, he just saw her as an apprentice to be molded and not as a person, as a friend. Right. And like, he didn't even give her the benefit of the doubt when she did betray the Federation. But, she worked her way back in, and she talked about, I just did what I thought was right, because it's not a good thing to have blind faith in any institution, which is a great line, because it isn't. It absolutely, especially one institution that only lives to support itself now and not the people. Great line from a good episode. Duke Devil in 3 parts for $45. I'm paraphrasing the line. I remember when people theorized that Jar Jar saved Grogu. Kind of funny how it turned out that way, but good for Ahmed Best and good for Ahmed Best. You know, Jar Jar was lame. I gave Jar Jar shit too, but I never gave the actor shit. But I see how he took it personal and for
media
him
gave him shit.
The media gave him a lot of shit. Like I love how the media is trying to pen it that the fans were giving him shit. Listen, there was a certain sect of the fans that were giving Jar Jar shit, but the media was compounding it. Dude went through a lot back in the day. Now I have to endure reviewing this crap. Yeah, I wish he was in something better. I do. But good for him for coming back, and I'm glad he's okay. Personally, I'm glad he's okay. I hope he continues to be okay. I hope he gets more roles. I hope this helps. Duke Devil, 95 on the second one, told my girlfriend that I might stay another day in Vegas for Chrissy's show. She was wholeheartedly in favor. Last night, she said she wanted to watch all John Wick movies before seeing the new one. I should be suspicious. Why? You should be getting a wedding
That is
ring.
amazing.
Yeah. Been thinking about this. Why can't Grogu talk? Yoda lived 900 years. Grogu is 50. Take off a 0 and you get human ages 90 and 5 years old. 5-year-old human beings are precious. Is Grogu special? Maybe. Yeah, that's been brought up before. That Grogu might be special needs. Something to talk about. I'm over Grogu. Chris, you over Grogu? Baby
I just
Yoda?
don't care. After
that is the way.
that's the literal definition of being over it.
They say this is the way so often in the show. It's actually annoying. I would be drunk if I took a shot every time they said this is the way. Like, look, they would save it for May the Force be with you. It's not said willy-nilly. It's said when it matters. And this is the way. I just think here's why I'm checked out of Mandalorian. I think the lore is stupid. You can't take the mask off this. We're gonna hang out on the beach. I think there's a reason they got wiped out and got their asses kicked. It's because their whole religion is dumb. And then they're collecting like the pieces of armor, like their tattoos. Like, I just think they're morons. I don't like any of these characters. I liked Mandalorian when he was a straight up bounty hunter. Like, look, I'm a bounty hunter. Give me money. I take care of business. Fine. That's a great premise for an ongoing show with every episode with a sort of a season long arc. And then every episode, some sort of story leading to something. I don't know what is his goal now? He doesn't even have a ship. Where's that ship? Which, by the way, the design of his original ship was totally ripped off of a movie where James Cameron did the special effects. It was called Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah.
And it was produced by Roger Corman. Put those ships side by side and they look Battle Beyond the Stars. Look up the movie poster. There's the picture of the ship and then his ship. They looked very similar in shape. So I am the only person other than you, Gary, that noticed that, because I saw Battle Beyond the Stars, which was a straight up like Seven Samurai story by Roger Corman back in the day.
I love that movie when it came out.
I love that movie. A great soundtrack. James Horner did the music.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that ship.
Now look at
pretty
nice
Mando
ship here at the bottom.
It's kind of a similar ship.
Looks like a manly ship.
Got something going on down here.
It looks like it has a huge
breast. Gary and I are thinking two different.
Hey, man and women.
Okay, kind of.
Well, you got to call a ship a she. Now we know why. Okay.
Yeah,
exactly.
Is that a sleeve stack?
But yeah, Cameron worked on the effect.
Yeah, he did.
That movie, I mean, look, that movie kind of holds up, at least story-wise. So I love John Saxon in that film. He's great.
Yeah, John Saxon's awesome.
Anyways,
The Grizzly, 3 parts for $60. Woo! Thank you, Grizz. Cheers, brother. The reason why you don't hear Biden say anything positive about America is because the middle class and average American people went against the globalist plan. The average American is their enemy. That's why they have president being arrested, which has never happened before. Still don't think it'll happen. That would be crazy if it happened. That would be just, they backed off on it today. We've seen crazier things, but you will launch him directly into the White House. So do what you got to do. That's how scared they are of the average American. They can't stand us. They can't stand the one president who defended us, and they can't stand freedom. Super Mario games are consistently top sellers. Each game that comes out, the lowest Super Mario mainline title was ever rated 7 out of 10. Wow, that's crazy. And that's their valley. Nintendo knows how to treat their main star franchises. Yep. Yes, they do. I mean, they've been in the cultural zeitgeist for this long. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. They've got my respect. I'm never going to be a fan, never going to play that stuff, but I hope you get a great movie, Super Mario fans. I do. Middle class, we mostly get along, and it's 90% of us agree on 90% of things. That's what they're afraid of, and they need to disrupt us so the elites can make more money, and so they can tell us what to eat, where to go, how to spend our money. They'll control spending our money. They'll control how we think. They'll control what we watch. That's what they want. And they think it's for the greater good. And it's not. It's not. Wrath's Reign for $20. Gary, I'm sorry to hear about your mom, and I would like to help. I don't know if you can take this 20 for the super chat and use it towards helping your mom, or of it, there is another link to help. Because I want to help. That's fun. That's good. Like, you guys, so what I make from YouTube goes towards helping my mom. So thank you. Ad money and everything goes towards helping my mom. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna have to move her to Texas. So thought we could avoid it. Can't avoid it now. California's getting really expensive. Really, really, really stupid expensive.
Dude, tell me about it. I've cut back so much on just like going out to eat. And then I noticed I was just at Target, and everything I normally buy, I'm talking about like basics, it's $1 more. To like the shampoo that I normally buy, which was like $5.99, is now $9.99. I'm seeing, like, we're talking about dramatic price increases.
Yep.
It's crazy. I've never seen it like this ever.
No, they raised my mom's rent $1,000, dude. $1,000, not 100, $1,000. I'm like, fuck you. Bye. Yeah. I mean, I could bring her here for half as much.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do. What the plan is Melissa might just go and round her up after Vegas. We'll go to Vegas, and then Melissa will go and round her up, and I'll go back home to the kids and stuff. Nice. Wilm in 2 parts for $30. Thank you. And as Wilm, right? Wilm? Am I seeing that right?
I think it's Will M.
Will I Am? Is it Will
No,
I Am?
Will M.
Is it Will I Am from the Black Eyed Peas? I just want to give a quick shout out to Gary for introducing me to the eloquent metal rageaholic known as Razor Fist. I shit you not, I've spent the last 2 days combing through his illustrious catalog in awe of his mastery. God fucking speed. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Metal Mythos. His videos about comics. Yeah. Big inspiration of mine, and great guy. And he will be on Friday Night Tights.
Yeah.
Sometime
in April.
Late April. Megan in 4 parts for $35. Thank you very much. Andor and Rogue One still feel like the best content Disney Star Wars has produced. That's some of the there's some heart to it compared to all the other pieces of dog shit that they pushed. The common link being a glaring lack of wokeness in the story. The female antagonist in Andor was well written, actually compelling as a character, and avoided the typical tropes pushed by Disney/Hollywood. The female protagonist in Rogue One didn't feel like a Mary Sue like Rey. They didn't emasculate Andor, etc. It's possible for Disney to do, they just don't want to. You're right. All of this was always possible. Okay, let's just go over phase 4. We'll switch it to Marvel. The Disney trilogy should have been easy. It should have been about Han, Luke, and Leia while you're introducing new characters. They should have been in all 3 movies together, and maybe, and I mean fucking maybe, Han should have died sacrificing himself for his son. Maybe, but probably not. Fuck Harrison Ford. Han Solo doesn't die, but at least you do a fake out, make you think he's dead. It's fucking Star Wars. Han Solo lives. Fuck that shit. But let's just go to phase 4. Okay. Black Widow. Hard R. Reduce the budget by $100 million. You make this movie for $75 million. You make a hard R, violent, atomic blonde, La Femme Nikita movie. It's a layup.
Born Identity kind of tone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
They tried.
Yeah.
They tried.
Did they?
No. Scarlett Johansson has to be in her underwear. There's got to be sexy scenes. Hard R, violence, sex. It's a fucking spy drama. Okay. That movie makes money. That movie does John Wick numbers. Easy. Shang-Chi. If you can't get Quentin Tarantino, you find somebody to do an homage to 70s kung fu film. You get somebody who looks as close to Bruce Lee as you can find, and you do a somewhat exploitationist kind of film in the Marvel universe. Another hard R movie. No, it's not going to make $1 billion, but again, you make it for $75 million, and it makes money. And it's in the cultural zeitgeist, and it's got a bunch of love, and it will just continue on, and then you have a lot of positivity with your new brand. If we fast forward to Thor. Easy. This one was fucking easy. Have Thor versus Gore. That's it. Nobody else. Just fucking Thor versus Gore. That's all you needed. And have him fucking slaying the shit out of Gore, just slaying the shit out of gods, and Thor getting his ass beat, and finally coming up at the end like the hero and beating this guy who's just wiping out gods. That'd be fucking awesome. But no, we needed a cartoon. I don't know.
I just feel like the character of Thor was so broken down by part 4 to make it a light comedy based on everything he suffered. He lost his mother, his father, his brother, his world, his people. He failed everyone by not going for the head. I mean,
the whole movie should have been him going through this trial and tribulation. At the end, he is the king of Asgard.
Yep.
Yes. He has to restore his honor.
We're not in the same
universe
anymore.
Movie that would have made money. It would have hit that $1 billion mark, but they refused to do it because, we can't have the white man being king. That's what kept them from making $1 billion, is their agenda. So yes, identity politics is the foundation in sand that keeps them from succeeding. Absolutely. It kept them from, you can't do with Shang-Chi. Oh my God, there might be some stereotypes. Whatever. People like fucking kung fu movies. Okay.
Everybody likes kung fu movies.
I also think that's another thing, like Brie Larson miscast, that Simu Liu was just so miscast in that film. He's
Awkwafina. Oh my God. She ruined the movie.
I like
Marvel.
I like Awkwafina in other movies, but
not that one.
This. Not that one. No.
Simu Liu is perfect as a stock photographer model. That he is absolutely.
You're right. You're right, man.
Point at fucking computers all day long. Dude can't fucking act. He's not a movie star. He has no charisma.
Not even the Chinese liked him.
No, they called him ugly. They called him ugly.
And by the way, Script Doctor knows him and used to work with him. And he said that he would always, Script Doctor lives in Canada. You should get the story direct from Script Doctor, but what he basically said is Simu Liu would pitch a lot of really bad ideas. Like he pitched some idea and the writers would just say, okay, yeah. He was just he strikes me just Just look, I never met him. He's a himbo. He's a himbo.
You need to build furniture with him.
Yeah. He's a himbo.
Oh
I don't think he can do it.
Now that,
he might get perplexed by IKEA.
Which they really leaned into
what are these pictures?
This sort of Asian, martial arts film from the 70s, Gary, that movie would be huge. And also, by the way, what you're describing, like, first of all, you should run Marvel Studios. I hear there's a position that's open. But like, look at the success of Joker. Look at the success of that movie. A movie made for $50 million, very gritty, set in Scorsese's kind of 70s, 80s, king of comedy, which is a great underrated Martin Scorsese film. Most people haven't seen it. I love that film, The King of Comedy, with Robert De Niro and Jerry Lewis. I'm telling you that you got to go low budget on these things, and then you can take risks. That's what got Marvel into the position, of being the biggest film franchise ever in history, is by taking risks early in the early days, and then it got safe, and then it got Disneyfied, and then it got feminized, and now it's a brand on the wane.
Yeah, I mean that's how you respond. You just had the big end game. So what did they do in the comics? Because there was big cosmic events all the time, but somehow those street level superheroes just stayed popular. Well, what did you do? You had a big street level cool story, right? Yeah. And that's what you do. Yeah. You bring it back down. And Daredevil set it up perfectly. After Thanos, what happened? A bunch of gangsters came in and started real estate scams in New York to take advantage of people after the chaos of a fucking invasion. I'm like, that is brilliant. That is great. And then like the tech that's going around, like that's the one good thing from Homecoming I liked was them people poaching the tech. And that brings you new villains. It's like, ooh, it escalates. Everything starts to escalate, but slowly. And they just threw it out because of identity politics. But yeah, I would have just straight up done a street level thing where Shang-Chi meets up with Daredevil and Spider-Man, and you could bring in Moon Knight and Elektra.
That would be so cool.
Luke Cage. It'd be fucking awesome. Great. And then you level it up a little bit with Doctor Strange, and you start bringing in the mystical element, and Mephisto's the big bad guy. That's the big bad guy, which they kind of tried to semi-allude to with, the Defenders and all that. And the Hand.
Now he's a D+ show.
Yeah. Now it's a D+ show, but fucking Daredevil is so good. That didn't cost $1 zillion. It just didn't. One of the most memorable scenes in all of live action Marvel is in a hallway. It's in a hallway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some of the best Marvel scenes are people talking to each other, where it's actually the stakes matter. When Tony Stark returned from space, all, just his health, and he's just like withered as a human being, and they're just sitting there talking at a table, right? Like the stakes mattered. There was a level of seriousness. The writers, the filmmakers, the actors took the events that were happening in a fantasy world completely deadly seriously. And that is gone. That is gone. And if it doesn't matter to the writers, if it doesn't matter to the characters, it won't matter to the audience. That's what's missing.
Phase 1 was taken so seriously.
Dude, yeah, go back to the scene where Thor gets exiled from Asgard.
Yes.
That is one of the best. That's the best acting you'll see in the MCU. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And they've typecast Chris Hemsworth into this, like, I'm a stupid male that doesn't, like, I'm so ditzy and I make funny joke, haha. But he's actually a pretty good actor when they let him do it.
Great actor.
They
and that's how they took that first phase seriously, and they wanted to present it as if it was real, and they did that. And now it's just a fucking cartoon.
He's a modern man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta read Serious Life. Oh, go on.
One real last thing. They turned Chris Hemsworth into the character that he played in fucking 2016 Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fucking
turned him into that.
So Darius White for $20. Shang-Chi was, thank you, by the way. Shang-Chi was supposed to be Bruce Lee as James Bond. being pulled back into the intrigue surrounding his past instead of what it became, the master of Kung Fu. Hell, he wasn't even the associate of Kung Fu.
There's
Remember, the name of the Shang-Chi comic, X-Ray Girl, was The Deadly Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu.
Rings. Or the 10 rings. I googled the top 5 kind of karate actors in China. They could have gotten any of these guys.
That's better.
Like already. He looks like he can fight.
Already better.
Wait until you
Already
see
better.
Donnie Yen. Wait until you see Donnie Yen in John Wick 4.
This
He
guy
steals
would have
the
been
show.
amazing.
Donnie
Yeah, that
Yen
could have
is
been
so good. I can't wait for you to see it.
I like Donnie Yen.
Yeah, legend.
It's good
chose
stuff. Legend, absolute legend.
Simu
Yeah,
Liu.
yeah. They chose. Yeah, it's just so dumb, so fucking dumb. The Eternals. I would have gone like really traditional looking Kirby costumes and found a filmmaker who loved Jack Kirby and just made it a big love letter to Jack Kirby. Kirby Crackle, all the craziness. If you want to really introduce all that, I think that would have been pretty easy.
I would have shown, if I was doing it, I would have shown close-ups of their fingers and they were square at the end of the fingers. That's the level of detail. If you're going to get Kirby right with the, you know how like
Kirby
you always
right.
have those, the fingers, they're kind of almost square off. Like
And all their poses are they're about to launch in the battle. Like everybody's
Yeah.
like,
yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jumping at camera.
Yeah.
Literally, that movie ended up looking nothing like the original. If you
Like
read
a
the comic,
beige
you think, what is the connection?
It was a beige piece of poop.
Ew.
Yeah. Doctor Strange should have been a love letter to Dicko. They tried in the first one. They tried, didn't get it. Like, I don't know. It would have been very hard, but like Terry Gilliam directing a Doctor Strange movie would have been fucking insane. He would have gotten it.
Oh yeah.
Because you needed somebody who understood surreal filmmaking. Like if you really want to do that. I know that's a tough one into big budget stuff, but Terry's done it in the past with 12 Monkeys and pretty much everything he's done.
Everything.
He made a kids movie surreal and weird. Fucking Time Bandits. It's a kids movie. Doesn't feel like one though.
Remaking that one. Yep.
With isn't it? Don't tell me who's doing it. Who's doing it, chat? It's somebody I don't like. Terry Gilliam was brought in for a day and he said, "Fuck this shit."
You want me to
by the way,
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi, that's right. Oh,
God.
Oh man.
I freaking love Time Bandits. There's no merchandise for it. There's like a Marvel Comics adaptation, and then some people make a map. And they make 2 versions. You can buy it on eBay. You can get like a clean one, or they have one with like stains on it that's distressed. I got the distressed one and framed it. I love it. Love Time Bandits. Such a great movie.
Scary as a kid.
I think Criterion, I can't remember if they did a 4K or not. I know they recently released it again on Steelbook. Matthew Hammond for $20. I find the topic you mentioned about a movie writer cannot write TV. Do you remember when studios in the 90s and 2000s would not hire TV writers to write movies? It was amazing how episodic TV was decimated the talent for major blockbuster movies. Yeah, I think one can move to the other, certainly. George R. R. Martin, is a short story writer, but he's a TV writer. You know that, right? That's where he cut his real teeth. He did short stories and TV scripts. And I think that's where some of the best writing was. For one, like George is guilty. Like he's guilty of something he didn't start, the phone book fantasy stuff. But now that, I'm reading Ian Fleming and Robert E. Howard, just like you get full stories that you can read in an afternoon. It's great. It's fantastic. And all the writers from Twilight Zone, and we've gone over it a million times. A lot of these writers had gone to war, had jobs, had a life before they went into writing. Yeah, experience. Josh 316 for $50. Thank you very much. Does Gary keep being sexy? Okay, I will. That's what I'm known for. Side note, how many questions have you gotten about Steven Crowder since he's been back because of Quarter Black? You're the first one, but thank you.
Maybe one.
I'm sure Quarter Black gets a lot more than I do.
Yeah, I do. It's better when he's back because when he's gone, people, hey, where is he? What's happening? What's going on?
Garrett's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't work there.
Yep.
I wouldn't tell you.
Shout out to Battle Beyond the Stars, Fandom Menace. A little smile. Someone's 7761 for $20. Thank you. You were talking about Benny earlier, Chris. You know the first time I heard of Benny? Back in 2019. He was in an interview, and he was the first person to mention the hashtag Fandom Menace.
Really?
Dave Rubin. He was being interviewed by Dave Rubin. I put a clip in my video. So he saw that, and we've been like going back and forth in DMs ever since. So
wow.
Benny
That's
gets it.
cool.
Benny gets it. The importance of pop culture. You either win the pop culture war or you lose the culture war. It's as simple as that. Bashy Washy for $100. Someone said, Mom, oh, you don't. Bashy. Well, Mom will be taken care of. Thank you, guys. Mom will be taken care of. V Gorilla for $300. My God. Gary, it's V from Rogue News. I love your work. Big fan, and this is for your mom, bro. Oh, you didn't have to do that. Thank you. It will go towards it. It will absolutely go towards it. Thank you.
Oh, wow. You read this one already.
I did. Chris.
Yes.
It's your time to go.
Yes. Yeah, I got to do a live stream. I got to do a live stream. But real quick, just want to say I'm doing a live stream in about an hour. In an hour on the Film Threat YouTube channel. We'll be talking some indie films, also talking about Mandalorian, Alan, and WonderCon stuff. Also, my movie is screening in a theater at the Frida Cinema it's Friday, April 21st. 2 screenings. Tickets are on sale now. Get them while they're hot. So, yeah, check that out. It's Attack of the Dock.
Attack of the Dock.
Attack of the Dock is coming out.
It's fantastic. Can't wait to see the refined cut.
The refined cut, I'm proud of. I can't wait for everybody to see it. So join me and a bunch of people from
MVP
the
will be
old
there.
What's that?
Max will be there. Right there. Max got his ticket.
So jealous.
Nice. So grab tickets to it. Go to thefridacinema.org. Friday, April 21st. Join us. It's going to be a party. So, but I always love just spending my Wednesday morning with you. It's morning for me, Gary. And I'm looking forward to Vegas. I'm looking forward to Vegas. I'm going to make it happen.
Or we kidnap you.
Oh, you're going to make it. I am totally confident you're going to make it.
Okay. All right.
I am 100% confident you're going to make it.
But thanks. We didn't get to, there's so many things we didn't get to. This shows you like 2 hours flies by. But I will see you next week for sure. I can't wait for Friday Night Tights this week. And always fun to hang out with you, Garrett and X-Ray Girl. Just a blast. And X-Ray Girl, thank you again for the recommendation of the whatever.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Been telling me about it. I finally checked it out. So
thanks, my brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Talk to you soon. Later. Bye.
I'll be chirping at you in DMs tonight, probably. We shall continue with the super chats. Okay. Jaro 96 for $1.99. Thoughts on CW Superman and Lois? I think it is good. I got into season 2 and I just kind of got out of it because I got busy. But I liked the first season. I thought it was fine. For CW, it was fucking. I thought it was fine. Yeah. I think it's probably going to be canceled. I think Gotham Knights might cancel as his brain. I'm not sure. Naso Kashev for 10 Martian pesos. I am a wrestling fan, and AEW was in San Francisco on one of the wrestlers got his car broken into, and their championship belt was stolen. I am interested in your opinion on the utopia that is California. Well, I left. I was born and raised there, and I left. My car got broken into. I lost count. Like if you'd leave a fucking pencil on the back seat, your passenger back window would get knocked in. I sold auto parts, and the part that sold the absolute most outside of oil filters was a rear passenger window. Always kept in stock in San Francisco. It's a shit show because of defund the police. The police were neutered anyway. Not that I'm a big fan of them. You have prosecutors who don't prosecute. You have legislators who don't legislate, and you have upjunk file clerks for a mayor. London Breed's fucking terrible, and they'll vote her back in again. So good, vote her back in again. You'll get more of the same. I'm not going to be around to fund it anymore. But once they started pushing like the free college thing, right? There was a lot of factors, tons of factors, lots of factors. Wasn't a good place to raise kids. The school system sucked. They shut my wife's business down and closed it forever. That was perfectly successful. By the way, she's licensed. She was a licensed beautician, which means you are licensed in health and safety by the fucking state, and you're still shut down, but it's perfectly okay to have fucking McDonald's open and Walmart. That was bullshit. And yeah, we were done. And then they started this free college bullshit. I'm like, no, I'm not paying for any of this stuff. Bye. Fuck off. But an educated society is a good society. Is that helping? Is that helping? We're going to have, it's not. Duke Devil 95 for $10. I remember when people theorized, I think I read this one.
Oh.
I did. Burb Shid for $2 Australian. Love a good hump day. Good eye. I do too. Vinyl Morpheus for $9.99. I don't want Disney to get their act together. All in on total. I'm all in on total collapse. So am I. Time for this corporation monster to go the way of the dinosaurs. Pass on all sequels and remakes. Time for creative new blood. Agreed. Yeah, I'm not holding out, nor do I honestly care about a Disney turnaround. I mean, I love Marvel. I've always loved Marvel for what it was, but Marvel died in 2009. Star Wars died in 2012. Is Marvel in a position to where they could turn things around? Yeah, they'd have to cancel all of their projects and start from scratch. You think they're going to do that? No. So they're just going to delay, hoping that things get better, which is a very risk-averse way of failing. Jester of Roanoke for $2. The last IP that still hurts to see defiled is who? Yep. That one's a tragedy. Because that was really one that just was unnecessary. The Grizzly for $10. I lived half a year in Europe. I lived in Spain because my brother was finishing college and decided to finish in Spain. But I've been all over Western Europe. You guys will have a great time. Yeah, I love the UK. And I can't wait to take these kids to Stonehenge and Bath.
Oh yeah.
And
driving around.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
can't wait.
Yeah, we're gonna go see the big white horse. We're gonna see a lot of cool stuff.
Racist horse? What?
White horse.
Yeah, there's a giant white horse.
Didn't know.
Tolkien was yeah, it's like scratched into the earth, and Tolkien was inspired by it a lot. He's young. And we're gonna go to Oxford and all that stuff. David L for $5. JW4 may be the first movie I seen in theaters in almost 3 years. Wow. Yeah. Steve Surf for $10 on the Streamlab side. Thank you for circumventing whoever's in charge now.
Whoever it is.
We should all study how the Japanese greet each other with respect. That will turn the wokers inside out. Hail to the Fellowship. Yeah.
Karate.
Yeah. Can you please order 100 D20 FNT style dice to give away at the Vegas meetup for tabletop game? I will be hosting. Thanks again.
That's a cool idea,
That's a
actually.
good idea. David Nelson for $4.99. We'll look into it. Yeah.
Garrett, we can play tabletop in person in the UK.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
In a castle? Can we make that happen?
Oh, yeah.
The Darth Bane trilogy by Drew, I can't pronounce his last name, would have been amazing. Another writer who truly cares about the universe and wouldn't have shat all over the original trilogy. Says Damakazi for $10. Yep. No, they don't want fans. Disney will never be great again until they release Song of the South, says CDO for $5. Matt Faction for 11 Canadian pesos. William Shatner is from a different generation. My grandmother is 95 and they still are as sharp as a whip. People from that generation were built different. Yep. Frank Doublemint for $5. Can Chris Gore give an indie movie recommendation every stream? He always talks about something I want to see. How did you find these movies? He talked about one that Alan saw at South by Southwest that sounded really good. And it was the guy with the talk show, and it's the last show, and a demon gets loose inside the talk show. That one sounded good. I forgot the title of it though. Yeah. So it's a 70s talk show. He knows this is the last. It's like it's waning and it sweeps. So he does a Halloween special.
Oh, that's even better.
That sounds awesome.
That's actually a great plot.
Yeah. Mark of Reality. I forgot the title, but I'm sure you can look it up. Mark of Reality for $10. Keep in mind that Trump said that if he's arrested, he wants to be in handcuffs and in public, and he's the master of PR. Yes. Oh yeah. He wouldn't have announced it if he didn't think it was beneficial to him. Smart businessman. Jose for $1.99. Rent a theater for Lord of the Rings for San Antonio meetup. Oh, that's a good idea. Sparta Chris. 540 Echo, $10. Marvel was also close to challenging DC and animated universe with the Yostiverse, and they canceled it all for Avengers Assembled and Ultimate Spider-Man. Yes, they canceled Earth's Mightiest Heroes and Spectacular Spider-Man, which were good. Angry Yeti TV for $3. So I'm a retard. I just realized Jaloja is the membership level, not who gifted it to me. So thank you, whoever. All hail. You're not retarded. It looks like Geeks and Gamers logo was modeled off of X-Ray Girl's eyes. It says hot coffee.
Like the glasses, you mean?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not the glasses.
Or I see it.
Are you being a little bit racist?
A little racist.
Vapor trails are good for you, by the way. Thing is, the places where income inequality is highest are blue states like California. They're playing a shell game. Agreed. I cannot pronounce Orphan
Twin.
Orphan Twin for $10 says X-Ray. Get the Run P app. It tells you when you're safe to go in real time. Nerdrotic, I'm coming to the meetup in Vegas. Can we talk Eric into joining? I hope so.
Ooh.
It's like Eric K. Yeah.
Eric K will be there.
You should
Eric
be there.
July.
Oh, Eric July.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll ask him. We asked him last time, but it depends on he was really busy.
Scheduling thing last time.
He's a busy man, running his channel.
Just killing it.
His company.
But if we can fly Eric out, maybe. Wasser Bottle for $3 on the Streamlabs side. CERN fired up the Large Hadron Collider last week because Joe dropped a hard R at church. That's why Velma woman got the medal. It was supposed to be the lady from Wakanda. I blame CERN for everything, by the way. I really do. 3 Bear Thunder for $4.99. How come Baby Yoda can send 3 shots, but the other is only doing 1 at a time? Mando sucks. Disney sucks. Hail FNT. I agree.
I agree with all of those things.
I agree. Gary, I hope you guys like Pakistan and North Africa as well, because that's the most of what you'll see in the UK. That's what it's become. That's why Az never leaves his house, says MK Solid $4.99. Luis Sueves for $10. Chris complains about expensive shampoo. Save money by not taking showers. It's just that simple.
Easy.
Pyro Rompa for $5. Ronpa. Chris, did Lasseter put a friend in you? I don't know.
You put a friend
In me. I met him at Tesla when he brought his car in. He's a nice guy.
Oh,
Michael White for $20 on an off day. I got bored and watched Return of the Living Dead, which I haven't seen in over 30
Yes.
years. It was campy and fun, but a masterpiece in storytelling and plot thread versus today's steaming piles of goose crap. Goose crap. That's the first time I've heard that. That's good. Boney Joseph for 44 yen. The Mandalorian's training was cringe and lame as fuck. Totally agree. Toxic masculinity for $10. You probably already know this, but what do you think about Guillermo del Toro doing H.P. Lovecraft's Mountains of Madness? I think it's a great idea. I wish he would do it. I think he is the best chance of getting a proper version. I hope he can. I hope he can too.
He's been trying to make it for like 10 years.
Until then, like the closest
Maybe
you'll
more.
get is John Carpenter doing his Lovecraftian tales. He's doing Frankenstein. He's doing a Frankenstein, proper Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that. And Robert Eggers is going to be doing Nosferatu.
Yes.
So, fuck
Like,
yeah.
I'm so
Sign me
down
up.
with those.
Sign me up. Storyman Jack, what's up, brother? For $1.99. I am working on an audio drama. Good. Audio dramas are fun. I like those. Those are my fave. Eric K for $2. May the force be with you is now Nanu Nanu. Nanu Nanu. Leandro Ribeiro for $5.50. What do you think about upcoming Deadpool Wolverine? I don't know. It's Disney.
They better put him in a suit. I swear, if we never got him in the Wolverine suit, and if they pull him back into a Deadpool movie and don't do it,
I'm gonna hope for the best and expect the worst. That's where I'll say with that one. They're saying it's rated R. We'll see.
We'll see about that. Disney rated R. I don't know.
Juice for $5. The best Star Wars media has been created by fans in the last decade. You're right. Chris, have you seen the TIE Fighter animated short based on the classic PC game? I'm sure he has. Chris is a massive Star Wars fan. Holmesy 73 for £5 listening to the show Open Bar Wednesday. Have a good one. Ungrateful colonists. Some love for the last Starfighter. Is Open Bar on today? Is it on right now?
I think he meant that it sounded like an open bar on a Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I might be on tomorrow. I got to see like if I'm making a video or not. But I might be on tomorrow. Chances are, when the drinker asks me to be on something, I say yes. Okay, so I'll be on tomorrow. I just don't know how long. East Coast Toasty Boy for $5. Games getting their own TV shows right after they're made seems like they're trying too hard to popularize them. It's too much. I totally agree. Like, fucking be a game. Be a game. It's better than a TV show. You're in control.
Yeah.
That Conan in Exiles looks fun.
It's so fun. Obsessed with it. Absolutely obsessed with it.
High Q for. By the way, how good were Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan yesterday?
So good.
They were so good. I wasn't that good, but they were great.
I wish I could have appreciated them like how I'm sure a lot of the chat could, have a conversation with these legends.
Yeah. And people, because of their politics, right? And these guys are able to write and work with anybody, have been for decades, but they just have different politics. They don't get spoken of.
Mm-hmm.
But they're absolute legends. They haven't IQ for £2 says they haven't destroyed Babylon 5 yet, and I don't think they will. And God, I love that show. And the final one of the day, Wolfman R6118 for $4.99. Watch Star Trek the Motion Picture recently. The scene where Spock attempts to meld with V'ger had more of a Kirby feel than most of the MCU. You are right. You are absolutely right. That is an insane scene, and I just watched the director's cut 4K special edition. It's fucking a masterpiece. It's so good. It's so good. So good. And hey, we get a new episode of Star Trek tonight. Now, maybe if one of these fucking streaming services could figure out to just put something on at a time where we're all awake,
a reasonable time.
But yeah, I love it, but I've seen it and I'm not staying up till 2:00 in the morning to watch it. I will watch it in the morning and do a quick review in the morning or in the evening, depending on my work schedule. I am fighting a cold. I'm on the winning side of it now. I'm on the winning side. So
Over the hump.
Over the hump on a hump day on a nooner.
Hump day.
We had 7,500 people watching us today. Thank you very much. Couldn't thank you enough. Thanks to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who left super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. And we'll be back next Wednesday with Chris. We got Aiden Paladin on Friday Night Tights. I've been watching her for years, so it's going to be really cool having her on and talking to her. I've talked to her on EFAP before. And we got a bunch of guests lined up. We got a bunch of great events. We're going to UK. We're going to be in Vegas. We're going to Contact in the Desert. We're going to be at Asheville.
Probably Orlando too at some point once we get the dates.
All over the place.
Oh yeah, once we get the date for Orlando, I'll be there. It's gonna
be a crazy year.
It'll be a crazy year. Got to make content though, and there's no shortage right now. There's no shortage, and Disney falling apart is like something else.
Yeah,
it is happening in real time. Hail to the Fellowship! You are winning. You are winning, indeed.
Remember 3 years ago when they thought you were ridiculous for fighting against Disney?
Where are we now?
How are those shills looking now? Well, Collider's gone,
really
quiet. And they're all on their own doing YouTube channels, and guess it's not that easy without the backing of a giant corporation, is it? No. There you go. So thanks. It's all thanks to you guys. So eternal gratitude. Thank you. What you got coming up, Quarter Black?
Tonight, I am going to be playing Hitman on my Rumble channel. So follow me on Rumble if you are over there.
Hey, Quarter Black, what do you think of Steven Crowder coming back?
I wish we could see your face.
Broke his nose.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he had a big mark on his nose.
Yeah, he turned his face and he was too close to the corner of a wall and smacked it on a wall.
I love
Alex Jones is great.
Was fucking great. He was so on fire though. I love Alex. We got to get him back.
Love Alex. But maybe I'll make an appearance over there sometime. They asked me to. We'll see. See when it is.
Cool.
That's
if I'm not keeping you busy, no, it's fine. Go over there.
It's only an hour. I mean,
yeah. I got a video rolling around in my head, but that last one turned out pretty good.
I think it did.
Yeah.
Also, that video of you drinking milk.
Fight milk.
Yeah.
Go watch our
Camelot
show.
loves him some quarter black,
Camelot.
some all black. He's not discerning at all.
Doesn't matter how much.
Animal, mineral, vegetable. That's what Camelot's into.
Go watch our show. I did a show with Camelot. It was great.
You did. He did double duty that day. I was pretty good with Drinker and you. Not
I had
bad.
to follow up Drinker, man.
He's got some hustle. That one.
He does. Yeah. No. Go do crowd. Fuck, do whatever you want. It's fine. This job is chill. Like I'll work your ass off for like 2 days, and then you get 3 days off.
Honestly, though, like there was a while there where Perry was doing a video, and I didn't have anything to edit, and I was kind of like, man, I kind of want to edit a video.
Like, what do I do with myself?
I had it typed in our Discord. I was like, hey man, you got any content? I'm kind of itching. And then you sent me like, I got an idea. Let's go. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, I've got like 3 ideas. One of them's got to be Perry though. No offense or anything.
Oh,
but,
no, I don't take any offense.
We all aspire to be like Perry.
Him like a year ago that I think we should release while I'm in Vegas. But no, you're going to be regretting saying that by the time we get to Vegas. You just got a reprieve because I wasn't feeling good. I was supposed to be caught up on everything, and I'm mostly, except for a couple, I still got to do a member stream. But
it's going to be like after Rings of Power. It was just like drained.
I'm going to have to do that Sunday morning.
So,
but yeah, Rings of Power. We were, dude, and it kept going. I was so burnt by the end of the year, dude. I don't know how those people make 5 videos a day. Don't know. X-Ray Girl, what you got coming up?
I'm probably gonna play Conan. Gonna eat something first, play, and then later on tonight, poor choices with that Tug Life, and we have Max Von Priestley coming on as well. So on YouTube, POUR Choices, and yeah.
I got news for you, Max. He's talking about relationships and stuff.
Hey, those channels are doing really well. The relationship sphere. It's very interesting seeing how people's opinions, and I see a lot of crossover into media.
Well, one of the guys, a friend of mine, showed me, like, when I was getting into this, he was like, you can really make money at YouTube. I'm like, no, you can't. Shut up. That's stupid. And he's all, well, there's this guy named Rob has a podcast. I'm like, that's kind of a dumb name. Yeah. I guess he was on Survivor for season 2, but all he does is talk about Survivor and Big Brother or whatever. I guess he's still doing it. I haven't seen him in a long time, but
like you'd run out of content to talk about.
Yeah, but like no,
Survivor's still surviving though. How many seasons?
Aren't they on like season 90?
Huge following, like a massive following in the podcast sphere, like insane. And I'm like, what? Wow. Okay. Hey, I'll see you. Love your streams. Hail from the UK. Love you all. We love you too. And on that, we will end it. Thanks. Anybody streaming right now? We want to send somebody somewhere?
I have to check.
Let's see.
On a Wednesday, Trigonometry's premiering a video. Midnight's Edge.
Midnight's Edge. Yeah, you can go over. There's talking about stuff. You can go talk to Midnight's Edge.
I will drop the link in the chat, or Gary will drop the link in the chat.
You can, because I'm about to go and get some food.
No, I did it under your account.
Oh, you did. There you go. Thanks. For that. All right. Happy birthday, William Shatner. We love
Happy
you.
birthday, Captain.
We'll see you next week, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.